طريقتنا الصحوة والخير في الجميع الحمد لله ولله الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا الله عز وجل insanlar hacı emretmiş.
Allah Almighty ordered the believers to perform Hajj, to make their pilgrimage.
Gidebilen için Allah kime fırsat veriyorsa o gidiyor.
It is an order by Allah Almighty to all those who have the means to perform their Hajj, and it is according to Allah Almighty's destiny that whoever Allah Almighty has destined to perform their Hajj, they are going to perform their Hajj.
Engel çıkan gitmek isteyip de engel çıkan oluyor ama Allah'a şükür.
Sometimes, of course, it may occur that one has the intention to perform Hajj, and then there may be an obstacle that one is unable to perform the Hajj.
Kısmeti olan gidiyor.
And thanks to Allah that He enables those who have been destined to perform Hajj to do so.
Onun için Allah'a şükürler olsun, sonsuz şükürler olsun.
Therefore, we are endlessly thankful to Allah Almighty that He has enabled us to perform Hajj.
Allah'a şükür gene bu sene nasip oldu.
And we thank Allah Almighty over and over again that He has enabled us this year to perform yet another Hajj.
Gidip geldik akşam vasıl olduk.
And we are thankful to Allah Almighty that we have been able to go to Hajj and to return to Hajj and to return from Hajj.
Allah kabul etsin.
May Allah Almighty accept it.
Allah hepinizden razı olsun.
And may Allah Almighty be pleased with you all.
Yapamayanlar da onlara da yapsın inşallah.
And those who have not yet been able to perform their Hajj, may Allah Almighty enable them to perform their Hajj.
Giden oldu çok. Allah'ın emrini yerine getirmek için.
There have been many who have gone to the Hajj to perform their Hajj and to fulfill Allah Almighty's order.
Niyetleri oydu.
Their intention, the reason why they went to Hajj was in order to fulfill Allah Almighty's order.
Onların da hacları inşallah makbuldur.
And may their Hajj have been accepted.
Çünkü yolda mani çıktı, edemediler.
And may also the Hajj be accepted of those, and may they get the rewards as if they had performed the Hajj. All those who have intended to go to Hajj, who have embarked on the journey, but who have had to return without actually having performed the Hajj.
Onların da ecri büyüktür.
May those who have intended to go to Hajj but have been unable to do so, they also will have obtained great rewards.
Peygamber Efendimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem'in yolundan gitmiş oldular.
They in fact too have followed the way of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
Peygamber Efendimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem de hacca niyet edip ondan sonra giremeyince dönmüştü.
Because it also occurred to our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that he intended to perform Hajj, that he embarked on the journey to perform Hajj, but then he had to return and was unable to complete the Hajj and had to return.
Daha sonra Allah nasip etti. Peygamber Efendimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem'e de onun Hacc-ı Ekber'di.
And then thereafter, however, Allah Almighty enabled our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, to perform Hajj, and that time it was Hajjul Akbar.
Büyük Hacc Cuma gününe Arafat rastladığı için.
It was the greater Hajj because the day of Arafah was on the day of Jummah.
Onun için gidemeyenlere de Allah muhakkak onların niyetine göre vermiştir.
Therefore, you must know that Allah Almighty will have rewarded those who have intended to go to Hajj but had been unable to do so. They too will get their rewards.
Bizim gene olması gene Allah Azze ve Celle'nin takdiridir.
Those who have intended to go to Hajj but were unable to do so, they will also get their rewards according to their intention. And we are thankful to Allah Almighty that He had enabled us to actually perform the Hajj.
Niyet yoktu ama niyet olmadığı halde sonra nasip oldu.
In fact, we initially did not have the intention to perform the Hajj, but then it was destined for us to perform the Hajj.
Gitti Allah'a şükür bizimki.
And then we were able to perform Hajj thanks to Allah Almighty.
Artık nafile hac sayılıyor.
This Hajj we have performed is considered a voluntary nafila Hajj.
Nasip olunca gidiliyor.
And this just demonstrates that if one is destined to go to Hajj, one goes there one way or the other.
Nasip olmayınca işte
But if one is not destined to do so, one cannot perform it.
istediğin gibi, istediğin kadar uğraş çalış.
One may try all kinds of things, but if one is not destined to perform Hajj, then it won't work out.
Olmuyor. Birinci sene bizim ilk hacımızda bir sene önce epeyce oraya buraya koşturmuştuk.
And we too, when we wanted to perform our first Hajj, we also tried so many things and we ran here and there in order to make it work.
Hacca gidendi. O sene olmadı.
But that year, it didn't work out simply, even though we tried so many things.
İkinci sene oldu. İnşallah.
But then the next year, it worked out perfectly.
Nasip olur niyeti olan insan.
Therefore, may Allah Almighty enable those who have the intention to perform Hajj, may they soon perform their Hajj.
Allah takdir etsin.
May Allah Almighty destine them to perform their Hajj.
Tamamını erdirsin inşallah.
And may Allah Almighty destine them to complete this obligation to perform the Hajj.
Şimdi gidip de yapamayanlar döndürülen çok oldu.
There have been many who have embarked on the journey to perform Hajj and who were sent back and were unable to complete their Hajj.
Hacılardan daha fazla döndürülen hacılar oldu.
And more than actually those who have performed the Hajj, there have been more who have been unable to perform their Hajj even though they had the intention, even though they embarked on the journey and were sent back.
Onların da Allah kerimdir. Allah'ın cömertliği sonsuzdur.
Allah Almighty, however, He's gracious, He's merciful, He's generous.
Ona da hacılığı makbul olmuş.
And there's no limit to Allah Almighty's favors. May Allah Almighty, with His grace and favor and His generosity, accept their Hajj.
İnşallah. Allah nimetlerini daim etsin, şükürler olsun.
And may Allah Almighty make His divine favors to be perpetual. Thanks to Allah Almighty for all His favors.
Şükür etmek lazım. Büyük bir nimettir, büyüktür bir.
One needs to be thankful to Allah Almighty always, and especially when one performs the Hajj.
Fazilettir.
Because it is the greatest of favors and blessings.
O mekana gidip Allah Azze ve Celle'nin evinde, Peygamber Efendimiz'in civarında.
It is the greatest blessing and favor to go to that space, that sacred space, to be the house of Allah Almighty, to be in the surroundings of our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
Ziyaret edip gelmek dünyada en büyük sevaplardan, en büyük lütuflardan birisi de.
To visit the house of Allah Almighty, to visit the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, is the greatest deed of all in this world, is among the greatest deeds of all in this world, with the greatest blessings.
Onun kıymetini bilmek lazım.
And one needs to appreciate the value and be aware of the value and favor and blessing of performing this.
Gidip tabi kıymet bilmeden dönmek, o da güzel olmuyor.
It is not a good thing to perform Hajj without actually being aware and appreciating the value of the Hajj.
Allah kıymetini bilenlerden eylesin.
May Allah Almighty make us to be those who appreciate the value of performing the Hajj.
Şükürler olsun ki şükürden ziyade olur nimetler.
Thanks to Allah Almighty, and it is through our gratitude and thankfulness that Allah Almighty will continue and increase His divine favors upon us.
Allah'a tevfik. El-Fatih.